Thanks for joining us at English Podcast, where learning English feels simple and enjoyable.
We share stories, real conversations, and tips to help you grow day by day.
Don't forget to like and subscribe so we can keep creating for you. The rain was coming down in sheets. You know, that kind of rain that makes you feel instantly soaked even if you're just dashing from the car to a doorway. It was a gray afternoon in a small coastal town, the kind of place where the seagulls cry louder than the cars.
And in a cozy little cafe, nestled between a bookstore and a bakery, a handful of people sought refuge from the downpour. Refuge means a safe place, a shelter. The warm glow of the cafe's lights spilled onto the wet pavement, promising warmth and dryness.
Steam curled from mugs of hot chocolate and coffee. The air was thick with the aroma of freshly baked bread and the low hum of conversation. It felt like time had slowed down, forced to a standstill by the relentless rain.
At a small table by the window, a man sat alone, staring out at the blurred street scene. He was tall and thin, with a kind face and tired eyes. He seemed lost in thought, his fingers tracing patterns on the condensation on his glass.
Across from him, a young woman with bright red hair and a scattering of freckles fidgeted with a silver necklace. She occasionally glanced at the man, a hesitant smile playing on her lips. She seemed to want to start a conversation but wasn't quite sure how.
This hesitant smile, it means she was unsure, a little shy perhaps. And the word fidgeted implies she was restless, playing with her necklace because she felt a little nervous or awkward.
The rain continued to fall, sheets of water against the cafe windows. Did you notice I used the word sheets? It means the rain was falling very heavily, like a bedsheet covering everything. Inside, the warm yellow light felt cozy, a stark contrast to the gray storm outside. Stark means very obvious or noticeable.
Yes, it's so comforting in here. And the aroma of coffee is wonderful. The man, let's call him Arthur, sipped his coffee, lost in thought. He seemed to be a regular here, comfortable and familiar with the cafe's ambiance. Ambiance means the character and atmosphere of a place.
He was sketching in a small notebook, his brow furrowed in concentration. He seemed absorbed in his work, oblivious to the bustling cafe around him. Oblivious means he wasn't paying attention to what was happening around him.
Across from him sat a young woman, Elena, with bright, curious eyes. She was fiddling with a silver locket, tracing its intricate design with her finger. Intricate describes something with many small details, often complex or delicate.
She glanced at Arthur a few times, a hesitant smile playing on her lips. She seemed to want to start a conversation, but was perhaps a little shy. I wonder what she's thinking.
Finally, she took a deep breath and spoke. "Excuse me," she said, her voice soft but clear. "I couldn't help but notice your sketches. They're quite beautiful."
Arthur looked up, startled. He blinked a few times, as if coming out of a trance. A warm smile spread across his face. "Oh," he said, "thank you. They're nothing special, just a way to pass the time while waiting out this storm."
Elena leaned forward slightly, her eyes sparkling with interest. "I think they're very special," she insisted. "Do you mind if I take a closer look?" He gestured toward the notebook, inviting her to see. He seemed pleased by her compliment.
So, to quickly recap what's happened so far in our story, two strangers, a man and a woman, are stuck in a cozy cafe waiting for a heavy rainstorm to pass. They started chatting to pass the time.
Exactly. And they've already discovered they have a shared love of books, which is a great starting point for a conversation, wouldn't you say? It's always nice to find common ground with someone new.
Absolutely. And the woman, remember, is a writer. She's working on a new novel, which she's a little secretive about. Secretive means she doesn't want to reveal too much about it.
Yes, and the man, he's a teacher, enjoys reading all sorts of genres. Genre just means a category or type of story, like science fiction, romance, or thrillers. He's eager to hear more about her book.
He asks her what inspires her writing. She pauses, looking out at the downpour. The rain is really coming down in sheets, which is a way of saying it's raining very heavily.
She explains that she finds inspiration in everyday moments, the small details of life that often go unnoticed. She likes to observe people and imagine their stories, their hopes, and their fears.
She adds that the rain itself can be inspiring. The way it transforms the world, making everything look fresh and new. The sound of the rain also seems to bring a sense of calm and focus. Intrigued, the man leans forward. Intrigued means he's very interested and wants to know more. He asks if she ever bases her characters on real people she meets.
She smiles enigmatically. Enigmatically means her smile is mysterious and difficult to interpret. She tells him that all her characters are a blend of different people she's known, along with a healthy dose of imagination.
She adds that she never uses anyone directly, but she borrows traits, quirks, and mannerisms. Quirks are unusual habits, and mannerisms are characteristic ways of behaving or speaking. The man nods, taking a sip of his coffee. He tells her that sounds fascinating and that he always wonders where writers get their ideas. He admits that he's a bit envious of her creative talent. Envious means he wishes he had the same talent.
She laughs softly, assuring him that everyone has a story within them, waiting to be told. She says that writing is simply a matter of finding the right words to express those stories, and that it takes practice, like any skill. She encourages him to try writing himself sometime, even if it's just for fun. She says, "You never know, you might surprise yourself."
So, the cafe owner, a stout man with a handlebar mustache, brought over a fresh pot of coffee. He gestured to the window, where the rain was now coming down in sheets absolutely torrential. "Looks like you'll be here a while," he chuckled, and then winked at Amelia. She smiled politely but turned back to Elias, eager to hear the rest of his story.
Elias took a sip of his coffee. Where was I? Ah yes, the mountain pass. It was treacherous. Treacherous means dangerous and risky, full of hazards.
He shivered, mimicking being cold. The wind howled like a banshee, a very loud, high-pitched scream. Visibility was near zero. I could barely see a few feet in front of me.
Amelia leaned forward, captivated. A banshee? Is that a kind of ghost? She asked, her eyes wide.
Elias chuckled. In Irish folklore, yes, it's a female spirit whose wailing foretells death. But in this case, he added with a wink, it was just the wind. He went on to describe how he had to inch his way forward, clinging to the icy rock face. To inch forward means to move very, very slowly and carefully, he explained.
That sounds absolutely terrifying, Amelia breathed. So what happened next? She asked. Did you make it through the pass?
Elias paused for dramatic effect, raising his eyebrows. Well, he began. That's where things got really interesting.
Interesting is an understatement, I bet. So, we have treacherous, meaning dangerous, a banshee, a wailing spirit, though in this case just describing a very strong wind, to inch forward, meaning to move very slowly and carefully, and finally, visibility, referring to how clearly you can see.
Exactly. And let's not forget torrential, which describes heavy rainfall, like what was happening outside the cafe.
Right. Now, what do you think will happen to Elias in the mountain pass? Any predictions?
I'm on the edge of my seat. It sounds like he's about to share the climax of his story. Perhaps he encountered an avalanche, or maybe even a mythical creature, given the talk of banshees.
Ooh, I hope it's not too scary. But let's find out. What happens next, Elias?
Okay, let's quickly recap the story so far. Remember, this helps your listening comprehension. A man and a woman, complete strangers, find themselves sheltering from a torrential downpour, a really heavy rain, in a small, cozy cafe.
Yes, and they initially just observed each other, kind of sizing each other up, a bit hesitant to talk. You know, that awkward silence when you're sharing a space with someone you don't know. But then, the power goes out. That unexpected event, that blackout, breaks the ice.
Exactly. And the man, feeling a bit bold, perhaps emboldened by the darkness, strikes up a conversation. He discovers the woman is a writer, struggling with writer's block. This block means she's having difficulty coming up with new ideas and writing.
He then shares his own passion, photography, and how he finds inspiration in everyday moments. He encourages her to look at the world differently, to find the extraordinary within the ordinary. They start sharing stories, anecdotes, little snippets of their lives. Anecdotes are short, amusing or interesting stories about a real incident or person.
They talk about their families, their dreams. He mentions his upcoming trip to the Himalayas, a mountain range in Asia, and she talks about her dream of writing a successful novel. As the storm rages outside, their connection deepens inside the cafe, fostered by the shared experience and their growing understanding of one another.
The rain eventually stops, the power comes back on, and the world outside returns to normal. But their interaction has created a shift, a subtle change in their perspectives. They've found a moment of connection, a fleeting friendship forged in the unexpected haven of a small cafe during a storm.
They exchange a knowing smile, a silent acknowledgement of the shared experience. He leaves first, a slight hesitation in his step. She watches him go, a sense of gratitude washing over her. The storm has passed, both literally and figuratively, leaving behind a sense of calm and a renewed sense of hope.
Although they likely won't see each other again, the memory of the encounter, and the stories they shared, will stay with them, a reminder of the unexpected connections we can make with strangers, and the inspiration that can be found in the most ordinary of circumstances. They both learned something valuable during that storm.
Thanks for listening to English Boost. Remember, practice a little every day and you'll see big results. See you in the next episode.